We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AV Rant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com.
PJ is our first victim. PJ would like to upgrade his speakers fairly soon, but he wants to be sure that whatever he buys will truly be worthwhile and be perfect forever and ever. His room is 33 feet long, 12 feet wide. That's a long room. And 8 feet high. And he's sitting 16 feet from his 120-inch screen and front speakers. He's running a 5.1.2 setup that consists of a Denon AVR X2200W receiver, Polk Monitor 60 front towers, Polk CS1 center, Polk Monitor 30 surrounds, and Dayton SAT3W speakers on the ceiling with an SVS PB1000 subwoofer. All right, good stuff. Would SVS Prime satellite speakers be able to handle every position? He's thinking he could get a Prime satellite speaker package at an affordable price. Maybe. And here's where Rob is going to do math. Tell us some math on how you would go about figuring out what speakers could handle every position.
Right. So
he wants all his speakers to be the same thing, satellite speaker.
Yeah, I'm rather trepidatious to say that this would be a great idea. Now, look, you could put Prime satellites up in every position, left, center, right, surrounds, and your overheads. They will absolutely create sound. They will absolutely sound fine for a lot of movies and music. However, they have their output limits, and you are sitting quite far away in a room that is very long.
Right.
16 feet is, what about 4.9 meters, right? Almost
Sounds
5
right,
meters. Which means you have genuinely lost just from distance, something in the range of 10 to 12 decibels versus being only 1 meter away, right? So if you were 1 meter away, the speaker's playing however loud it's playing. By the time you get back to about 5 meters away, that same speaker playing exactly the same level is now about 10 to 12 decibels quieter, just from the distance. So you've got this X2200W. It puts out 95 watts continuously. It can do peaks of 125 watts, which means that if your speaker's starting with 1 watt going into it, you've got about 21 decibels that you can get. So let's say you put in 1 watt and you're 1 meter away, all right? And the Prime satellites have an efficiency, I think they're around 84.
Right. Sounds, yeah.
So it's something right around there anyway.
It's not highly efficient.
It's not super efficient. I mean, it's not terribly inefficient, but it's not super efficient. So that's at 1 meter with 1 watt. You can add about 21 decibels to that, which gets you to, is that 105? Do I have that math right?
I'm sure you do.
84 plus 21. Yeah, that's 105. Okay,
yes,
so if you're 1 meter away, you can hit full reference volume. All right? But you aren't 1 meter away.
It's almost
you're
5
meters away, which means your maximum output that you could get to for your we're talking about your front speakers, right? Your surrounds might be a lot closer to you. They might be fine being Prime satellites. But your front speakers at 16 feet away from you, the max that they'll be able to play with this receiver and the efficiency of the Prime satellites is something in the range of about 93 to 95 decibels. Now, maybe that's fine.
I rarely go louder than that watching a movie. Every once in a while.
Absolutely be the case. But I just want to give you the figures. Those are the objective figures so that you have in mind, if I actually want the ability to hit full reference volume, you can't. Like, objectively, you just can't. The speakers aren't efficient enough. You don't have enough wattage. You don't have enough amplifier wattage on tap to get them up to that level. Now, if you wanted to do that from that distance and you're keeping the same receiver.
Right. You could upgrade receivers and get more wattage.
You could. And unfortunately, with the X2200 does not have pre-outs. So this would be in a whole receiver swap. At the least, you'd need to get a receiver that has pre-outs and then add an amp to that, or get a much more powerful receiver to begin with.
But then you spent more money that you could have put toward the speakers.
That's right. So your other option is to get more efficient speakers, something that's, ideally, if you want to hit full reference volume, something that's in the 94 to 96 decibel per watt per meter range. But, again, hitting full 105 very likely isn't necessary. I want to point you to one that I think is quite affordable. that I think looks quite good, that is not as small as the Prime satellites, but it's not gigantic. And that's HSU's HB1 Mark II Horn bookshelf speaker. These are 92 dB per watt per meter. So, okay, maybe you're only hitting 103 decibels. I don't know how you're going to live, but, it's pretty good. But these are coming in right now. They're on sale for $140 each.
Yeah, that's a very good deal.
Which isn't a whole lot more expensive than the Prime satellites. I mean, this is why I like it. It's got the efficiency that you need. Again, you can check out the dimensions to see if the size will work for you. They're definitely bigger than the satellites, but they're not gigantic. They're 8 by 8 and then 15 inches tall. But yeah, these would be my top recommendation to you, because I want you to have that headroom available, just in case you want to hit 100 decibels, which is entirely
Sometimes
possible.
you're excited and get into it, and you do want it to do that. Sci-fi movies will do that to me. If I'm ever going to pump it up, it's going to be a sci-fi movie. It has that rectangular horn tweeter assembly.
It is, yep.
And
it's a horn design.
That horn design is, the assembly as it's attached on the front is about the same size as the actual woofer mid-range driver that's below it. And so it looks kind of cool. Is it just me, or is it like horn tweeter speakers always seem to be more efficient? Is it because of the horn tweeter?
Generally they are. That's one of the advantages of having a horn.
Right.
Is that much like putting a passive megaphone in front of your mouth, it amplifies the sound that comes out.
Because I always think of lower bass notes as being what you have to drive harder and use more energy for. But as far as overall volume, that horn blasts it out louder.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. The bass is hard to produce. That's why we get ourselves some nice subwoofers.
That's right.
And he already got himself an SVS, so he's doing okay there. But yeah, if you wanted an example of something that could do the full reference volume, maybe Power Sound Audio's speakers, those would be a good example. But just the front three would be about $2,000. All right, in their collection. So, and that's talking their bookshelf model that they have. What is that? The MT110?
Yeah, and to me, the aesthetic of those looks more like a recording studio.
Oh yeah, and they're big.
Yeah,
though that's a 10-inch driver in those things. They're big.
Yeah, it's misleading because
it looks like it's a compact speaker if you're just looking at the picture, but this is the Power Sound Audio ones we're talking about. That's a 10-inch driver, all right? So it's way bigger. It's certainly not satellite size, so it's way bigger. It's considerably more expensive. It's pretty utilitarian, kind of ugly looking.
Charcoal gray, the whole thing, and that horn tweeter must be the size of a paperback book then.
Yeah, so I'm doubting that's what you were going for, but the HSUs I think is a very reasonable compromise of size and price and all that.
He's got a few more questions. His current projector is a BenQ W1070. Heard of that one? Would there be any advantage for him in upgrading to an Ultra HD Blu-ray player? Obviously, he wouldn't be seeing 4K resolution or HDR, but he cares about the sound more than the video. He won't be upgrading his projector anytime soon. Yeah, there's more sound in that.
Yeah, I mean, there are a handful of releases where the Ultra HD Blu-ray release has an Atmos or a DTS-X soundtrack.
Yeah, but he's running 5.1.2 right now.
Yeah, 5.1.2. So he has an Atmos and DTS-X setup. So there are some where the Ultra HD Blu-ray has an Atmos or DTS-X soundtrack and the regular 1080p Blu-ray does not. There are lots of 1080p Blu-rays that have Atmos and DTS-X, but there are there are actually more Blu-rays that have Atmos or DTS-X 1080p Blu-rays, just because there are considerably more Blu-rays than Ultra HD Blu-rays. But there are the instances where the Ultra HD version comes with Atmos or DTS-X and the regular Blu-ray doesn't. So, I mean, if you buy the Ultra HD Blu-ray, like that's the retail disc that you buy, they all still come with a 1080p Blu-ray in there as well. So you could start building your collection even before getting an Ultra HD Blu-ray player.
Yeah, to me, if I know I'm going to have a higher resolution playback device and screen in the future, I'd hate to go buying things that aren't the best.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
if you love a movie,
more, on average, they cost $5 more than the 1080p Blu-ray. So,
but if you love a movie, like if it's really your thing, $5. I'm okay.
What I would probably tell you to do is look at nextgenhometheater.com before you buy, and just see if the Ultra HD Blu-ray version has Atmos or DTS-X. Then look up whether the 1080p version has it. Because on the movies where the Ultra HD Blu-ray has it and the regular Blu-ray doesn't, then I'd say go ahead and buy the Ultra HD Blu-ray, because then you have it.
Yeah.
And then that'll probably spur you on to buying an Ultra HD Blu-ray player, one would imagine.
Yeah, I feel like I'd go ahead and go for the future collection. You know, you're going to want that.
Yeah.
On a different topic, he has an electronic drum kit, and he uses headphones with it to monitor his own playback. It just has a standard 1/4-inch output jack, and he's been using a pair of Audio-Technica ATH M40X headphones that sound great. Sometimes his daughters want to listen to him play too, but he'd like for everyone to be able to use headphones. He picked up a very cheap splitter from Walgreens, but it sounds awful. Sound doesn't even come out of both ears all the time. Yeah, that's really bad. That's
that
called
sounds
defective.
like
that's broken.
However cheap it was, that sounds like a waste of money, unfortunately.
Right. So what's a good solution for sending the 1/4-inch output of the drum kit to multiple ATH M40X headphones? Well, there are such things as headphone splitter amplifiers. Coming
There
from
sure
a
are.
radio background, I can tell you that's very common. And here's one from Samson.
Samson, yes, not Samsung.
Right,
Samson, Samson.
Right.
Tom has used this himself. He's used it in person. Really liked it. Mark Henninger over at ASVS Forum wrote up a review about it. Really liked it.
Right.
And what is it, $69 retail? I think you can find it for $60.
I don't see the prices. I'm looking at this.
So it's not breaking the
69.
bank, but what this is 4 headphone outputs. So it has 4 headphone outputs with individual volume for each of them. Now,
Right.
one slight little oddity is that its 1/4-inch inputs are actually separated. There's a separate left and right.
So you'll need a cable from Monoprice to split your stereo to 2 monos.
Or you can just convert the 1/4-inch jack to a 3.5 millimeter jack, because it also has one of those.
Okay, that's even
So
easier.
I'll bet something in your repertoire came with a 3.5 millimeter adapter.
Yeah.
Most of us have one of those lying around. But anyway, this will allow you to take the output of your drum kit and feed 4 pairs of headphones.
Right,
which,
and the nice thing here, if he has kids listening, he can set the master volume so no one can go louder than a certain volume.
That's right.
And then everybody selects their volume within that master volume.
Yeah. So really good sound quality. The price is, I don't think, offensive. I would hope not.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I think worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AV Rant.
Now go out and listen to something.